the scriptures doesn't agree with what you're saying, man. When you read the judgments that's getting ready to come, it's very gruesome, man. It's very graphic. The Most High is coming to really to wreak havoc, man. But and another thing that he's coming to do, he's coming to bring slavery to the enemies of Israel. That doesn't sound like a loving thing to do. To bring hardcore slavery to these other nations, and we could prove it in the scriptures. You can't prove your doctrine in the scriptures, man. It will always create a conflict. It would always create a conflict. You won't be able to explain another scripture, like a scripture that we would ask you about, because it doesn't fit the puzzle. What you're putting together doesn't fit the puzzle. You're taking something from another puzzle set and you're trying to mix it in with a completely different puzzle set. It's not gonna work. You see, trying to fit a circle in a square. This is Revelations 2. Revelations 2:25, it says, "But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations." Right? That's speaking about the heathen nations. Okay? Why would he be giving somebody power over the nations? It's not speaking about the nation of Israel. He's speaking about the nations, man, the other nations. You know? And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, because the nation of Israel ain't going to be going. It says there's not going to be any pain for them. They're never going to go off. They're not going to sin again. So why would he need to rule over the nation of Israel with a rod of iron? See? As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. And I will give him the morning star. He that hath an ear to hear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. Because all the churches were consisted of Israelites, man. That's why you had the church of Asia Minor, the church of Corinth, the church of Rome, the church of this, the church of that. That was written to the churches. So you know the churches, they were Israelites, because it's saying that the reward for those churches following Yahushua until the end is that they will be able to rule over the nations, every nation except for the nation of Israel, because the nation of Israel is the chosen. Okay, and we know that the nation of Israel, pursuing to Hebrews the 8th chapter, is not going to sin again. So they're not going to need to be corrected. We're going to rule over the nations with a rod of iron, man. The ones of those churches, which are all Israelites, by the way, might I add, an Edomite cannot do. Pontius Pilate wouldn't be able to join Paul's camp. Okay? Even though Paul said that to Agrippa, Paul was using guile. You have to read between the lines, man. You have to read the scriptures like a movie, man. You have to read. You have to understand the time frame. You have to understand the mind state. You got to try and envision the expression on their faces. You can't just read this solely as a document. You know, it's a documentation. This is also a storyline to certain things, man. This book is vast, man. It's deep. Isaiah 14 in verse 1, it says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. All right, this is speaking about the Israelites, man. And that has not happened yet. They have not taken those captives whose captives they were. That has not happened yet. See? Or that would mean we would be in the kingdom. Okay? Keep in mind, this is in the time of Isaiah. This is not in the time of Moses. This is past the time when we were in the land of when we were ruling, when King Solomon was ruling. Because that was the only time Israel had the chance to really rule. Was in the time of King David and King Solomon. So this is after that time. There's no time after that the Israelites had the people who had them in captivity. You understand? As a whole, the nation of Israel. I'm not talking about a few families that have some servants that are heathens. No, we're talking about nation of Israel as a whole. Don't show me a picture of some Nigerians of the Igbo tribe with some Hamites as servants. Don't show me that. Show me where Israel as a whole have servants. Israel's in complete poverty. Israel's destroyed. All right? And they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? And then you see, it mentions the king of Babylon. The king of Babylon is going to be in captivity. See, that's amongst the people who had the Israelites in slavery, man, is the king of Babylon, which is Edom. That's why when you read about Babylon and Edom, it's synonymous. I brought it out last week in camp, is that Jeremiah 49 and Jeremiah 50 has the exact same judgment for the nation of Edom. It's not two different judgments. It's the exact same judgment. Why? Because the Most High set the nation of Edom over Babylon, the Babylon the Great. We're not speaking about ancient Babylon in Iraq. We're speaking about Babylon the Great, which is America. Okay? Also known as Egypt, also known as Assyria. All right? Spiritually, it's known as all those, excuse me. It's known as all those things. See? So that's how you know that in the kingdom, the Most High is not going to set up these other nations to be on the same level as the nation of Israel, and that salvation is only for the nation of Israel. That's how you know that. Okay? Are you telling me that the nation of Israel is going to have other Israelites in captivity? No. You know what I'm saying? Are the heathen? There's going to be all the heathen are going to go into captivity except for a few, and they're going to have their own people in captivity? Come on, man. It doesn't make sense. We're bringing all these nations in captivity as a whole, man. Matter of fact, let's just get Revelations 13 and 9. It says, Revelations 13 and 9, it says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And the saints are Israelites when you read the scriptures. So you see how I'm putting the puzzle together? The saints are Israelites, man. Okay? So who's waiting for this? Not Moab's not waiting for this. Japheth is not waiting for this. Ham is not waiting for this. All right? The nation of Edom is not waiting for this. None of these other nations are waiting for this except for the nation of Israel. They're waiting patiently for the captivity of these other heathen, for these other heathen to be under them. That's why when I read 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, it said, the world was made for our sakes. Why then do we not have an inheritance with the world? When are we going to get these heathens under our boot? When are we going to be ruling? Well, and even when Yahweh Shai was here, the disciples would ask him, will you now give the kingdom to Israel? They were thinking that it was going to come then, but it wasn't the time for that. All right, it wasn't the time for that. The kingdom is going to come after Edom is brought down. The Edomites were ruling back then. Now we're in the time that they're going down, right? We see that their kingdom is falling. Now now Yahweh Shai is going to get ready to come back and deliver the nation of Israel, because you can't have two kings sitting on the throne. Right now we have the king of Babylon, right, which is Esau Edom, sitting on the throne, but he's about to be sidekicked off that throne, and he's going to be replaced with one that is profitable, as the scripture says. Okay? And the saints are waiting for that, not Japhet, not Esau. You understand that? You understand that vocab? Not Japhet, not Esau, not Ishmael, but the saints. And we're going to get who the saints are right now. We're going to get who the saints are, because the saints are not just any nation could be the saints. Oh, it's Mother Teresa's a saint. She ain't no saint. She's a damn Edomite, right? She's an Edom. She's not a saint. Esau labeled her a saint, but she's not a saint. She's just an Edomite. Okay? You have all these people that call themselves saints, which should be calling themselves devils. This is Psalms 148 and verse 13. It says, "Let them praise the name of Yahweh, for his name alone is excellent. His glory is above the earth and heaven. He also exalteth the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai." Okay? So, we just learned that the saints are speaking about Israelites. Everything that I'm pulling out is showing you that the Israelites are going to be ruling in the kingdom of heaven, and they're going to bring recompense unto those nations that did them wrong. Right? That they're going to have these heathen nations under their foot. These heathen nations are going to be in servitude unto them. You see? This is a time when the nation of Israel is when we will be perfect. And what we will be doing is we will be instructing these other heathen nations how to live. You see? The correct way. Because right now Esau Edom is not showing them the right way. He's showing them the wrong way. Okay? He's pushing forth homosexuality, transgenderism, to eat whatever you want, to live however you want. Adultery is okay. There's no crime. That's not a crime. That's all good. You know? So the Most High is about to do away with this way of life, which is the wicked way of life, and he's about to bring forth the righteous way of life, which is going to be implemented by his people, which are the Israelites. It's really that simple. And this scripture also shows you that those Amalekites that are in that land right now are not the people. All right, they can never be the people. If they were the people, then this means that this is the kingdom. Okay, and all these things should be coming to pass. This is Isaiah 2 and verse 1. It says, "The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, and it shall come to pass in the last days," right? "that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it." All right, which means the government. The mountain and the hills represent the bigger governments and the smaller governments. "And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. All right, so that means what? That the law is gonna be established in the land of Israel, which is not established today. Right? We clearly see that. We clearly see the wickedness that they're pushing forth out there. Okay? All you gotta do is Google it. You can just Google it. All right? Or you can go and watch some videos on YouTube and see what they're doing over there. It's nothing. Their pure wickedness is going on over there. Pure gay parades, pure pedophilia, pure nastiness is going on over there, man. Oppression people wickedly, robbing people. You know? I'm talking about the government. It says, and he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So guess what? The nations we're gonna have to teach these other nations how to live. All right, we're gonna be rebuking many nations. That's why it says that we shall be ruling with a rod of iron, man. That's for correction. The rod of iron is for correction, man. So when the nation goes against the law, statutes, and commandments of the Heavenly Father, then boom, they get slapped upside their head with a rod of iron, man. They get corrected. Okay? But it says, nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. All right? And clearly we see that that's not fulfilled right now. Clearly we see that there's nothing but war going on the planet Earth. That's because this earth is ruled by the wicked. You see? And really, the work right now, the earth is in a state of, had more wars in like this short period of time, let's say in the last century, than ever in history, man. Because it's been constant, non-stop war, man. See little proxy wars here and there. A lot of these things where you see these little terrorist attacks and these different nations fighting against terrorists like ISIS, Al Qaeda, all that. That's all CIA operative beef with Russia and these different nations, man. You know, they're setting up certain coups in these different nations so that they can basically overthrow and destabilize their government, man. You know, and set up a puppet leader there, man, so that they can get the benefit. So it's just a constant state of war. It's a constant state of war that we've been living in because the wicked is in rulership. And that's what he came to do. He came to bring war. He came to bring death. He came to bring oppression. This is Revelation 6. Start at verse 4. It says, and there went out another horse that was red, representing the Edomites, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. All right, going back to the blessing that Jacob and Esau, that Esau received, not Jacob and Esau, excuse me, that Esau received. Okay, he received the blessing of the sword. All right, and that's how he rules the planet Earth. He rules the planet Earth through the sword. Okay, and that's why there's constant war. That's why there's constant turmoil across the planet Earth, and that's why there can be no peace under this rulership, man. Because as the scripture says, it said that he came to take peace from the earth. Genesis 27. And verse 34, this is after Esau lost the blessing to Jacob. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And guess what? When he said that he made all his brethren his servants, that didn't go away. That blessing didn't go away. Okay, that blessing is still here, and it's getting ready to come. It's getting ready to come. It's still in effect, and it's getting ready to be activated. It's going to be activated in the kingdom, because it was activated for a short time. But you're telling me that the Lord only blessed Jacob for 40 years, where the heathen was serving him? Only 40 years. That's all the nation of Israel got, with that big blessing. That's what all the rave was about. That little 40 years of peace. Come on, man. The Most High, that's speaking about the kingdom. The Most High is about to bless Jacob and have his brethren as his servant, having all these other nations as his servants, man. Okay? And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Okay? Right? So guess what? Esau had his little blessing. Okay, and he had the dominion. He broke the yoke, going back to the time of King David, man. You know, he broke the yoke way back then. But now he's about to be put under that permanent yoke, which is part of that ultimate blessing that was given to Jacob, which all his brethren, which is speaking of the heathen, are going to serve Jacob in the kingdom. All right. And Esau, Salakia, another part here. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Guess what? It's the same thing that his forefather in the spirit, which is Cain, did to Abel, man. That's the same spirit in these devils today, man. The amount of times you jakes get shot down by the police, man, that's hatred, man. That's not because they're prunk, because the same things be happening with these Edomites, and they don't be shooting that quick. You know, I seen a video just yesterday where the Edomite had a gun, waving the gun all over the place, and they waited to the last minute to shoot him. They were all close with the guns. If that was a Jake, he would have been dead a long time ago, man. But that's based upon the hatred that they have for you Israelites, man. Okay? And that hasn't left. That hasn't stopped. That's why the Most High said, you have speaks about a perpetual hatred. That's what these Edomites hold. They hold a perpetual hatred. But you Jakes can't seem to see that. A lot of you Israelites can't seem to see that. You know, some Israelites have woken up to that. But some of you Jakes feel like you can change these devils. You can't change the devil. These devils are doing what's in their spirit to do. Okay? They're doing what's in their spirit to do. They can't help it. You know? This is John 8:44. And it reads, Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. All right? And this is Yahweh Shai speaking to the Israelites, saying they're acting just like these Edomites, man, which were the Romans at that time. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth. That's these Edomites, man. Because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And it's evident by his society. His whole society is built upon lies and scandals and witchcraft and underhanded wickedness. That's why you always have these whistleblowers, man. Why do you have so much whistleblowers that pop up in this kingdom? It's because there's so much secretive wickedness that Esau is doing, man. Everything that Esau does is in secret. You know, it's about destruction. It's about being destructive. You know, the scriptures speak about how they don't go to sleep unless they do some type of wickedness. You understand? Because those elites are on their bed, like before they go to sleep, they think about the wickedness that they're gonna do. Okay? They think about that shit. They're like, okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna poison the Negroes' water. We're gonna poison the Native American water. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. We're gonna give them this food, and then we're gonna hit them with this and that. You know, we're gonna put a microchip in these people. And this is the type of thoughts that they think of while you Jakes are playing PlayStation, okay, or thinking of a new dance move. These elites are thinking about how to destroy you, man, and they're thinking deep. They're not thinking on a low level. They're thinking on a very deep level, man. That microchip, that's deep. That this whole situation that we're in, which clearly is an orchestrated situation anyway, right? So it's part of their plan anyway, which ultimately is part of the Most High's plan. But they were looking forward to this clearly, right? You know, based upon, you know, the different things that was going on, Agenda 201, and it's very clear to see that they were setting up for this. But at the end of the day, you know, it's a deep thing. It's a deep thought that was in their mind. It's a deep thought, man. They're not thinking on the average person's level. Like there's a person, one of those people who are insiders. They said something that's like, once you get all the money, what's left to get but total control? Okay, and that's what these elites want. They want total control. They're not satisfied with what they have. Excuse me. This is Psalms the 64th chapter. Psalm 64 and verse 1. Okay. Hear my voice, O Most High, in my prayer preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. All right, so they have secret councils. They have secret meetings, man. You know, they go to the Bohemian Grove every year to have these different meetings that the news does not report on at all. Maybe you might find a news reporting in the flipping 80s, but after that you don't hear nothing about that, man. I mean, I believe there's only one clip of it, and after that you don't hear anything about that place. But they have a meeting there every year. These people are constantly followed, and people need to know everything that they do, right? But when it comes to that, they don't even speak on that. That's because they own the media. See, they own the media. They tell the media what to say. They have those news anchors. They don't have their own mind when they're at work. They can't just say what they want to say. They got to read the script. Okay, and they gotta read the script, and they gotta talk within guidelines, man. They have certain things that they're able to say, certain things that they're not able to say. Like some of you Israelite groups. Some of you Israelite groups are able to say certain things, but based upon the 501c3, you're really not supposed to be speaking on certain